Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Senior of the Year Awards. This virtual event will unfold much like our in-person events over the past few years, just without all of you here. Since 2010, Bethany Retirement Living has been recognizing the contributions of people over the age of 65, the gifts that they've given our community. It's been fun and interesting to learn of the impact these special people have had on those around them. Nominations are solicited over the summer, and this year we have 10 nominees with very diverse backgrounds from across the region. We will introduce those nominees in just a few moments. Recipients are selected from the list of nominees in 5 categories: business, community involvement, education and arts, faith, health, and wellness. Before we continue, let's acknowledge the supporters of our Senior of the Year program. They are, at the platinum level, Sheyenne Hearing Service, WDAY. At the gold level, Form Communications Printing. At the silver level, in-house advertising. At the bronze level, Nothing Bundt Cakes. Thank you, sponsors, for your generous support of the Senior of the Year Awards. Now let's get started by introducing this year's nominees. We begin with ROYANN Archer. ROYANN Archer is retired from a career in customer service, including 25 years at Blue Cross Blue Shield and another 20 years at Touchmark. That experience gives her the ability to help others in need at Fargo Baptist Church. Her service to others comes in many forms, including leading Bible studies, teaching women's studies at Masters Baptist College, leading a recovery program called Reformers Unanimous, leading prayer groups praying for missionaries, volunteering with the Tabitha Touches Sewing Group, leading the Hugs from Home ministry that encourages missionaries and pastors' wives, personally counseling members of her church family, sewing and doing alterations for church members, and volunteering at the Share-a-thon to support the church radio station. ROYANN's work in the church is led by her strong faith. Through prayer, she trusts in the Lord's leading and direction. Her faith has helped her endure many personal tragedies and keeps her active daily with her church family and with those she meets in the community. ROYANN has witnessed to many people sharing the gospel and leading souls to Christ. Through prayer, she is led to serve. ROYANN is nominated by Fargo Baptist Church.
She's so committed in so many ways, just always smiling, very cheerful, just a real encouragement to people. She seeks to be a blessing to people. She's not one who waits to be served, but she likes to serve. The Bible speaks about the older women teaching the younger women and being an example to them. She just 24/7 with her life is a continual example of what a godly woman ought to be. She's holding Bible studies, she's sewing things for people, she's encouraging missionaries and their wives and holding prayer meetings, and we just really love her a whole bunch at Fargo Baptist Church.
JULI CARON. JULI CARON grew up in Marshall, Minnesota, part of a family of 7 children. She is a Catholic sister of the Order of Sisters of St. Joseph and took her nurse's training at St. Francis School of Nursing in Crookston. Now, as a registered nurse, she was a nurse at Sanford and also at St. Mary's Hospital in Detroit Lakes, often working in medical surgical units. She was a chaplain at Sanford for 13 years. She is now a volunteer chaplain with Ethos Home Care and Hospice. Just out of high school, Julie's mother suggested nursing for her, and she loved it, taking care of people as a nurse and later taking care of the families as a chaplain. Now semi-retired, she cherishes the opportunity to sit with people and just let them talk, thereby helping them through the final stages of life. Julie says this is the time people are closest to heaven, and it gives her a sense of peace. For those considering a career as a nurse, Julie says, with the far-reaching shortage of nurses, now is the time to get into it. We need people to care in kind and compassionate ways. She is a fierce advocate and leader in the healthcare community. JULI CARON, nominated by Tammy Lopez.
I've known Julie for many, many years, and she is a servant leader, one of the best servant leaders that I've ever known. Julie has worked tirelessly and effortlessly in the world of advocacy, both by way of nursing and by way of Christian ministry. She has been a hospice chaplain for many, many years, and she volunteers for us now. She also was a nurse for many, many years. She's just this calming presence. And Julie, you're my idol, and I think I want to grow up to be just like you.
Darrell COSTAIN. Darrell is a native of Milner, North Dakota. Darrell completed his degree in marketing at the University of North Dakota, and he has had a successful career in retail and food wholesaling. He's been an active member of his community through his church, his service club, and other outlets. At Faith Lutheran in West Fargo, he has served as president of the Church Council and the Faith Lutheran Foundation. Darrell has been the chair of the Stewardship Board. He leads the King's Men, who provide maintenance and upkeep around the church. He's taught Sunday school and is also, this is a big one, the chief lutefisk preparer at the annual lutefisk supper. He's a member of Toastmasters and has long been a member of Gateway Lions, where he has been the immediate past president. Through Lions, he has been co-chair of the annual All-Star Boys and Girls Class A and B Basketball Classic. His most recent passion, and a project of which he is most proud, is the furniture mission of the Red River Valley, where he is currently vice president of that board. Darrell has been instrumental in starting the new nonprofit and is helping it through its successful first year of operation. Darrell has been nominated by Everett Van Engelhoven.
After I met Darrell 40 plus years ago, I soon learned that he was kind of the go-to person in our community and in our church. If you wanted something done, you got Darrell involved. The main reason I wanted to nominate Darrell was his involvement with the furniture mission. Whenever you ask for his assistance, if he says yes, you're going to get 150%. Darrell, I want to thank you very much for all of your contributions to our church, Faith Lutheran Church, over the years, and especially the Furniture Mission Project. Without you, this thing may not have taken place, and I mean that sincerely. I hope our relationship lasts for many more years to come.
Our next nominees are Lowell and Rachel DISRUD. Lowell and Rachel met in college and have been involved in a number of community organizations, both individually and together. They have been long-standing members of Kiwanis and actively participate in all of the activities of the club. And as far as can be determined, they may be the only couple where both have served as district governor of Kiwanis. Additionally, they have been involved in Bible Study Fellowship, PTA, their church, scouting, Dakota Boys and Girls Ranch, the Heart Association, Thrivent, as well as serving in the North Dakota legislature. That was Rachel. Rachel says she's always sought to be connected to something bigger than herself, and that has led to her active participation in a wide variety of programs. Through her activities, she's met incredible people who also want to build their world. Lowell notes that much of the impetus to get involved grew out of his participation in his son's activities. Lowell and Rachel both point to key individuals who have guided them to their professional careers and also the drive to be involved in their community. Rachel and Lowell also both readily cite raising their 4 sons as their most rewarding achievement. Lowell and Rachel DISRUD, nominated by Barbara Weary.
They're just very giving, very open to new experiences, which I think is a great example for other people. They're curious. You want to hang on to them and follow by example for the things they accomplish. Rachel and Lowell, I was so thrilled to have this chance to nominate you, because really you have contributed so much to the community. Your heart-filled genuineness is felt by many, many people, and your willingness to help, your compassion and empathy, it's just all to be admired. And I wish more people would learn from you, so thank you.
Our next nominee is Margaret Gaynor. Peggy Gaynor grew up in Arlington, Virginia, attended college in New York State and St. Louis, and then moved to Fargo in the mid-70s, where she found the people warm and friendly. She learned of a counseling position at North Dakota State University and ended up counseling students for decades and served as director of the counseling center there and also disability services. Among her favorite things is serving on the board of FM Symphony. She admits she's not a musician, but her involvement has provided a lot of pleasure, has introduced her to many people, and has helped advance arts in our community. Peggy has also been involved with Meals on Wheels, where she's also recruited other volunteers. She's been involved with Junior League, Hospice, and was part of a group that built a program called Expanding Your Horizons, which helped junior high-aged women stay in science and math. A friend prompted her to pursue her career by introducing her to the writings of Carl Rogers, addressing a client-centered approach to psychological care. She finds it rewarding to encounter someone with whom she's worked in the past and who tells her, everything is going well, or I'm okay. Peggy has been nominated by Don LaRue.
She really has been a person committed to helping others. She's been involved in counseling for virtually all of her life. She was the head of the counseling service out at NDSU. Peggy, I appreciate what you have brought to the community through your counseling, through your work with the Meals on Wheels, with your work in terms of bringing books to the retirement community, and those kind of activities that have brought joy to others.
Our next nominee is Donald Peterson. Donald was instrumental in developing the Computer Center at North Dakota State University, and he led the effort to build a strong technology system throughout North Dakota. He's been a member of Rough Rider Kiwanis for more than 20 years, joining that service club to improve the world one child and one community at a time. Don has held the treasurer position for more than 12 years. He volunteers for all activities, including service, fundraising, meetings, and others that enhance the mission of Kiwanis and improve the world. He represented the Rough Rider Kiwanis as a generous volunteer during the recent air show. Don volunteers tirelessly at First Lutheran through ushering, Bible study, kitchen help for variety events and funerals, and he also participates weekly in Helping Hands. He helps cleaning and doing yard work. He's also been involved in Bible study fellowship. Don is a regular volunteer at the Emergency Food Pantry and at the food bank. He has volunteered with the Red Cross during emergencies, and he's also been a scout leader. Don was nominated by Rough Rider Kiwanis.
We and Rough Rider Kiwanis have nominated Don Peterson for this award, wanting him to receive the recognition that he so dearly deserves. Well, Don, we want to thank you. For a few years ago, you invited Lowell to be a Kiwanian. We can't do anything alone. We're stronger together. Thank you, Don.
Our next nominee is Judy Peterson. Judy grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin and earned degrees in home economics. She taught for 5 years and was a stay-at-home mom for her 3 children. She then spent 37 years in various roles at Blows Sew and Vac. Judy's been very involved in her church, singing in the choir, serving on the funeral committee, participating in the quilt group that creates quilts for distribution through Lutheran World Relief. She's also been participating in the Ruth Circle Bible Study and organizing book bags, also for Lutheran World Relief. Now, during the COVID pandemic, she has sewn hundreds of masks that have been donated to recipients in jail, at women's shelters, or at her church. Judy is part of Quilts of Valor, and she has helped sew quilts for needy veterans. She's made Afghans for patients at Roger Maris and has distributed quilts through a partnership between Slumberland and the Salvation Army. Being married to a blind man has been crucial in becoming who she is. I'd be a totally different person, Judy says. Judy's a firm believer in a statement credited to St. Francis of Assisi: preach the gospel. Use words if you must. She says there's always someone to help. Be humble and take one day at a time. Nominated by Shirley Bolme.
She is one of the most talented, non-judgmental, helpful, kind, good friend. She's innovative and honest and willing to help with anything. We should all strive to be like Judy. She gives from the heart and she doesn't expect anything back. Judy, you'll probably be surprised about this nomination, but you certainly deserve it, and I hope that you know how appreciated you are by so many people.
Our next nominee is Helen Punton. Helen came from a great church family who regularly participated in worship. She was baptized, confirmed, and married in the same church. As a child and youth, she attended Saturday school and was active in Luther League and Lutheran Daughters of the Reformation. As an adult, she taught Sunday school and was superintendent, served on the church council and ladies' aid, and was secretary of the Fargo Conference. Helen's list of other activities outside of church seems endless. She served on the committee for Cass County elections, was secretary for the Central Cass PTA. She was a 4-H leader, chair of the North Cass County Cancer Fund, chair of the North Cass Muscular Dystrophy Drive, and was also a member of the Bethany Homes Auxiliary. Helen remarked that she felt she needed to do her part. "If I do mine, so will others," she said. She's also had an influence on her 3 children, 14 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild so far, she adds. And she's had a great influence on young family members of others. She encourages them to be active both at church and in their communities. Her most rewarding achievement is raising her family and having wonderful friends. Helen, nominated by Megan Lindquist.
I nominated her because throughout COVID and just after my grandma passed away, she was always ready to answer the phone and talk and answer questions that I had about life. And in the way that she answered my questions, she was just such a model of faith and just living a godly life, walking with Jesus and showing me how to do that. She's just incredible. I just love Helen so much. Thank you for just being who you are and always having space for me.
Our next nominee is Ed SCHMITZ. Ed grew up in Harvey, North Dakota, attended Catholic school for 8 years before graduating from public school in nearby Harvey. He received his bachelor's degree from Minot State University. After working in financial services for a while, he opened his own financial services business, specializing in estate planning, small business, and succession planning. Though mostly retired, Ed still serves a number of his clients. The next phase of his education came while driving around the region to work with clients. He would listen to tapes and CDs on a variety of topics, and he came to realize there was little, if any, radio broadcast to feed the faith. A student of Pope John Paul II, Ed felt the call to evangelize. In 2005, he became chair of the Real Presence Radio Network that began with acquisition of a Catholic radio station in Grand Forks. Currently, there are 24 stations now, from Rapid City to Duluth, from Williston to Rochester. Though some of the program is shared, each station serves and broadcasts local information. He's also been active with the Chamber of Commerce, his church, Meals on Wheels, the food pantry, and supporting families of deployed Guard and Reserve members. Ed SCHMITZ, nominated by Scott Hennon.
He volunteered his time after leaving the employment of Vide Bailey with Real Presence Radio. And he took one little tiny radio station on the radio in Fargo and Moorhead and built this network out that the people all across the USA are trying to emulate now. What Ed built with his volunteerism, with his expertise, was incredible. This guy just has the passion for an idea and is going to bring the right people together to make it happen. Ed, keep being Ed. Keep doing what you've done. Show others how they can continue to give back and use their skill set. Show others how to do what Ed did.
Our next nominee is Rick Stern. Rick is well known through his family's connection to Strauss Clothing here in Fargo. In addition to his professional career, Rick has been very active as a community member and volunteer. His favorite activity has been his 50-year association with Kiwanis, where he has had a chance to impact children and make the world a better place. He's enjoyed the camaraderie, friendships, and fun, and notes the club's impact on the community has been very rewarding. Rick is also very active in scouting and tries to be a good scout, he says. He participates in the American Legion Color Guard, serving 80 to 100 ceremonies each year. Rick has been on the boards of the Fargo-Moorhead Opera, the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and also FM Symphony. A passion of Rick's is horses, and he's encouraged young people to enjoy horses. Several of those youth have shown horses in 4-H, and Rick has participated in the Roger Maris Cancer Ride as well as Wagon Train. He's also active in his church, the Fargo Air Show, and has found assisting new Americans to be very rewarding. From a young age, his grandfather and father prompted Rick to be involved in the community to do whatever they can. Their example guided Rick's active participation in a variety of organizations and community causes. Rick, nominated by Margie Bailey.
He has been a friend for 45 years. Ever since I've known him, he has been just an absolutely irrepressible, persistent, committed volunteer. He wants to make Fargo a better place. He just draws people to the projects that he's really passionate about. Not only helps organizations and projects in the community, but he helps individual people. Keep doing what you're doing. Do it with the joy that you always do everything with. You mean a great deal in so many people's lives.
And now, to announce this year's Senior of the Year Awards, I'd like to call on Sean Stuhag, President and CEO of Bethany Retirement Living.
Hello, everyone. In the category of business, our recipient is Ed SCHMITZ.
First, I'd like to thank Scott Hennon for the nomination. It's quite an honor. And also for Bethany for putting on these Senior of the Year awards. And also I'd like to thank the team that I worked with to develop and help get Real Presence Radio up to where it was. So I get a big thank you. It's an honor.
In the category of community involvement, our recipient is DARRELL COSTAIN.
Good evening. I am so honored to accept this award this evening. God gave us all different talents, and I've always been taught that I should give my talents to those less fortunate than me. I've been blessed to work with a lot of great mentors that teach me the value of helping others, and this has been one recognition I never ever thought that I would receive. I look at all the other candidates and I go, wow, why am I even in this group? But thank you so much for this award. I will treasure it the rest of my life. Thank you.
In the category of education and arts, our recipient is PEGGY GAYNOR.
Good evening. I'm very grateful to be here tonight and to share this evening with others. It always feels a little unusual to be the recipient of an award, to be nominated for one, and so I'm grateful. I can say I try to do my best, and so sometimes when I get reminded that it helps somebody, I feel really good. So many thanks to all who put this evening together, to Don LaRue, who nominated me for this award, and to the Fargo-Moorhead area for being about the best place a person could have worked for the last 40 years. Thank you all.
In the category of faith, our recipient is ROYANN Archer.
Thank you, Fargo Baptist Church, for nominating me for this award. I don't deserve it. The glory goes to God. Thank you.
In the category of health and wellness, our recipient is JULI CARON.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm delighted to be nominated as a Senior of the Year. I appreciate Tammy Lopez for nominating me. And when she asked me if she could nominate me as Senior of the Year, I said, well, I certainly am a senior. Some of the things, I've done a lot of things in my career. I'm a nurse, chaplain, and love to visit patients and their families. Yeah, I'm just happy to be nominated. So thank you, and I appreciate all that you have done.
I'd like to say congratulations again to all the nominees and the recipients on a job well done. A lot of interesting stories in our community, and we're very, very happy that everybody participated in this evening's event. Next, I'd like to introduce Grant Richardson for some closing comments.
82 years ago, Bethany Rest Home was established. And since 1939, community support of Bethany Retirement Living has been very important. Charitable support helps us fulfill our mission to provide living opportunities in a senior community shaped by Christian values. The Senior of the Year program is a great opportunity for Bethany to provide outreach into the larger community. It's also an opportunity to recognize those individuals who live among us who have made an impact on the community and on the people around them. So, this year's Senior of the Year Awards, what a marvelous group of nominees. I've personally spent time visiting with each of them, and I've been very much impressed with their broad and deep involvement in this community. There are a lot of thank yous to be expressed. This event couldn't happen without the help of lots of other people. First, thank you to the nominators. You took the time, made the effort to nominate your nominee, and it's very important that you do so. Our nominees don't do what they do for the recognition, but it's nice to get a pat on the back from time to time. You did a marvelous job. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to Kevin Wallivan for emceeing our event. He's been our go-to guy since before we started this. I was visiting with him one time many years ago and suggested this as an opportunity for us. He said he's all in, and thank you very much, Kevin, for your involvement in this since the very beginning. Thank you to In-House Advertising for producing this video virtual event. We very much want to do this live, and hopefully we'll be able to get back doing that again next year, but they've done a great job putting together this video production. Thank you to our sponsors. This event would not be possible without their financial and in-kind support. At the platinum level, we have Sheyenne Hearing Service and WDAY. At the gold level, Forum Communications Printing. At the silver level, In-House Advertising. And at the bronze level, Nothing But Cakes. Lastly, thanks to you for watching this virtual awards program. I'm sure the nominees are grateful for your support and encouragement, and we at Bethany appreciate your support of the work that we do and the Senior of the Year program. We expect this program to continue to grow and expand and further salute those who have made an impact in our community. We very much hope to go live again next year. Sheyenne Hearing Center has generously offered to provide one of our recipients with a set of hearing instruments. We've collected the names of the nominees and submitted those to Sheyenne Hearing. They will conduct a drawing to determine the recipient of those. And also thanks to Nothing But Cakes. They've provided a bundt cake for each of our nominees as well. Looking ahead to next year, we very much intend to be back to a live event at that time, hopefully. And I'd like to let you know that next year's event has already been scheduled for October 6th at the Hilton Garden Inn. One more thing, if you'll indulge us for a moment. Bethany Retirement Living is a finalist in the Forum's Best of the Red River Valley contest. We're shooting for our 11th consecutive win in the Best Retirement Community category. We would very much appreciate your vote there and in any other category you think might be appropriate. Thank you for joining us for the 2021 Senior of the Year Awards program. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.